And we are back with a requested spin-off. We've said on our videos, if you comment, we will do. If you're a follower, that is. We will absolutely, we're open to all stuff. And one of our followers has asked us on one of our previous videos about doing a bit of a review on the Bray Wyatt documentary that came out April 1st. Obviously, it's taken us a little while to do it because it was the 16th of April. So, but it was hard for us to find and watch, and then we needed time to watch
Mania
it.
weekend.
Then it was Mania weekend. But yeah, so we are going to have a bit of a chat about the Bray Wyatt documentary. Probably one of our short videos.
Yeah.
But you all don't know. You'll be absolutely fine with that one. But yeah, guys, like I said, therefore, if you want us to do more stuff on per request, absolutely bang it in the comments below on any of our videos. But we have one request on that. If you request something, you need to be a subscriber. So if you want to see your request happen, hit that subscription button. Use the links below as well as you've seen around the video. The links below for the social medias, and obviously the link up there mentioning the affiliation. Hit it all down below, and you get all your Bray Wyatt merch there as well, which we're going to talk about now. I think the request came from, it's a friend of mine actually, if it's the same person, Dave Ingham, can't remember the numbers at the end of it, about it. Thank you very much, Big Dave. If you are the one who it is, if you're not, cheers, Dave.
Not Dave Meltzer, is it?
No. It's if it's Dave, I think it is. I used to work with him at Tesco's when I worked at Tesco's. But yeah, so as you're well aware, coming up to a year now. It's August last year, just before heading out to All In weekend. The Friday night, if my memory, no, Thursday night.
Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Thursday because I watched SmackDown when I was in London. The news broke late that the world had lost one of the finest wrestling brains creatively that we had, Wyndham Rotunda, or as we all know him as Bray Wyatt. If you haven't seen how we felt about that, if you see Matt's thumbnail behind him there, we did a whole special episode just for Bray. Both big Bray fans. I was very lucky to have the opportunity to meet him as well. Be really honest, I still miss him on TV.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this on one of the pods, he just seems to follow me at the moment, not in a bad way. His little voice just seems to pop up on social media and stuff like that, and just at the right times for me. And when I met him, I've not hidden. Me, Matt, don't hide this. We've got mental health issues. We've had battles with our own demons, and I have wrestlers and times, and when times are hard, there's certain wrestlers that ring in with them times, and I've had the opportunity to say thank you to some of them, Seth being one, Bray being the other one. Bray's was more of a distraction because of his work. And obviously him saying, when I spoke to him, he said thank you to us as that. And then obviously the promo when he come back, thanking the crowd about the fans for saving him. Now this documentary, I was dreading watching it, not for any other reason, but it's my emotions are all over the show as it is on a good day. Matt's the same.
Fucking mess me.
A very good documentary. Very good documentary.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Done the best way they possibly could. It weren't all just about his in-ring. We got a bit of his growing up as well, and his family life, and afterwards and stuff like that. And it was narrated by Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker, which I thought was nice. And it had many wrestlers in and around it. The name of a few, obviously his dad Mike Rotunda, his little brother Taylor Rotunda, Bo Dallas, Hulk Hogan was there, Natalia, Undertaker, Triple H, John
Big E.
Cena, Big E, yeah, because Big E was a really good friend of his. They were quite close, believe it or not. Eric Rowan. There's quite a few people. Sami Zayn. There was even clips from the late great Dusty Rhodes in there speaking about him, and it was really good, really good.
Yeah, it was nicely done. You could tell how much his I'm trying to think of the word. How much his personality shone backstage, not just in the ring in front of the cameras for us, but backstage with the talent, the road agents, to everyone. How much everybody loved him, and how high he was perceived in NXT before he got brought up to the main roster, and what Dusty Rhodes thought of him, which NXT is Dusty Rhodes, like it's William Regal. Them two just are NXT.
Even to this day, what Dusty's put in there still runs right through it.
They've not changed it. They've not changed some the things Dusty did. So Bray, obviously, we got to see the bit where he got released and how dark it was for him, and then he lost Brody Lee, and how that affected him. And then he obviously made his triumphant return at Extreme Rules, which I still think I have the live video of my reaction to it on the computer. I think I've still got it, which I may put up as a shot. But yeah, I mean, listen, John's just said it best then. We turn to wrestling when things aren't going well, or we just need a bit of a kick me up. And Bray was one of those people that did that. Even now, when you go back and watch a pay-per-view and Bray's on it, like you go back and watch the 5-5 Funhouse, so the highlights of COVID year. Everything Bray Wyatt did in COVID year is the highlight, even if some of it was just crap because of the booking with Vince. You could tell how much he loved his family. Taylor, Mika, his sister, if you don't know who that is. Was it his ex-wife?
Yeah, his relationship with his ex-wife was incredible as well,
which is very rare nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously JoJo, and how heartbroken they all were, and how they all support each other. It's very well, nicely done, and you can tell during the Hall of Fame and all over WrestleMania weekend how much it still hurts, and that's probably the reason why he didn't get put in the Hall of Fame this year. We've said it on the pod before WrestleMania. It's the reason why they're still hurting. This documentary, kind of probably eased a lot of things for them, but they're still hurting. The fact that they've lost the brother, the son. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. Bray was one of those that you don't have many characters like that in WWE or wrestling anymore, for that matter. Never mind just WWE. You don't have an Undertaker. You don't have a Kane or an Ultimate Warrior. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have them anymore. And we had Bray Wyatt, and I think he was the last. But I'm trying to think. Don't think there's anyone, is there? Well, Uncle Howdy when he returns, but
yeah, right now he's it's a once in a generational talent. So
yes,
the prior to that, the only one I can really say like is one of a kind is Taker. It's a one of a kind generational talent. You see your Rocks, your John Cena's, your Stone Colds, as much as they are iconic, you can see them running through other talent. So for to give you an example right now, your Rocks, you're looking at, I don't even know, it's a Stone Cold. You've got Kevin Owens, has got that bit of a Stone Cold anti-authority attitude about him. Yeah, your Rocks, I'm trying to think on the mic rock-wise. Yeah, John Cena, I'll use John Cena. You got your Cody Rhodes now doing the John Cena stuff, the fan favorite and stuff like that. They're always going to have that in and out because them talents is that as a talent wise, they can be molded into that talent by training. But creatively, their creative push is solely made for them by the people who make them. With Bray and the Taker, they find an opening in that market and they get it to work. So Taker came in Survivor Series as this undead looking creature that didn't speak often, was led by Paul Bearer, strange and backstory, all that sort of stuff. Kane's to a degree the same actually. Bray Wyatt came through it, and he started off as, and then the documentary shows his rise. He came through FCW with his brother. They were tagging together. He was an NFL. Well, he wanted to be an NFL player beforehand, but like a lot of them, it didn't work out. So he came to FCW, seemed to have it straight away. Then they put him in NXT, put him in Husky Harris, which he didn't like. Because he felt like it was a dig at his weight and his body and stuff like that. And then he went back down to NXT. I know, so Husky Harris came up, did a thing with the Nexus and stuff for a while on the main roster, and then he went back down to NXT, where he then dreamed up Bray Wyatt that we know. He in the documentary, you hear Bray actually talking about it. It was sort of a bit of a gimmick. Some of it's taken from another person, which he then makes into one of the puppets from the Funhouse. Mercy. I did the Vulture. I can't think who's called now. But he established that, and you see in the documentary, which is really good. And you don't see this sort of stuff on NXT or any other. You see the development of him just rambling on to then the cult following, where then he brought in Luke Harper and Rowan, and it took off in NXT, and then he got brought up to the main roster. They got brought up, I think, in and around the same time as the Shield as well. My dates might be off a little bit.
Yeah, 2013, summer 2013, because his first feud was with Kane in the Inferno match. Shield got brought up at the end of 2012.
It did. So it's not too far, though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so two big groups from NXT coming up, and usually one absolutely excels and the other doesn't. There's not this, because the Wyatt family was something we haven't seen on TV ever. We've had like the Ministry of Darkness stuff, but this Wyatt family is it was weird. I remember it first time seeing it with my own eyes, thinking, what? It was it was three guys. One of them's wearing a sheep mask and a boiler suit. The other one's wearing a dirty vest and his jeans, and then you've got one sitting in a rocking chair wearing with a hat and
sounds like
a
a
Hawaiian
typical
shirt.
Nine Jaws, then. That's a bit quite honest.
Yeah, that just sounds like your neighbours. But it worked because it was different.
Yeah,
and it was strange, and it's something we hadn't seen. And his promos were rambles, and sometimes you'd watch a Bray Wyatt promo early days and go, "What? What was that? What was the point of that?"
Yeah.
It was long storytelling. And obviously, he went on and had some great matches, which you see in the documentary too. One of them it was the whole storyline with John Cena, and he took the next level of weirdness to the next level when he had the kids choir and singing them out and stuff like that. And that's where the Fireflies come from, which is iconic now. We're going to hopefully see them again soon. We've seen them at WrestleMania weekend. Then the Wyatt family split. Luke Harper and Roy went their own ways, did the Bludgeon Brothers and whatever else. And then
Harper won the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, Harper won the Intercontinental title. Braden, in the documentary, we didn't realize this, but Bray was going through some dark troubles himself, trying to find himself and struggling back and forth. And the Wyatt family were put back together and brought in Braun Strowman.
Well, just before, they brought in Braun Strowman. They all went their separate ways because Strowman got a push, and then they went through a phase where he teamed with Matt Hardy.
Yeah, the Broken Universe.
Yeah, something like that. Which was crap.
Called
That first Mania after Raw when they bumped into Jeff, and they were talking to Jeff like he was brother Nero.
Yeah,
That was good stuff.
And, mate, the Andre the Giant Battle Royale where the lights went out and Bray was there, it helped him. Absolutely amazing, and it worked. It was really good, and it gave him another. It was another bow to his because he was able to revert back from. Because at this point he was like in the denim jackets and stuff. He got the revert back into the trilby and the Hawaiian shirt sort of gimmick. But yeah, and then obviously he's met JoJo while he was there, and he said JoJo pretty much saved his life and gave him a new lease of what for. Then COVID era come in, as Matt touched on.
He was the Fiend, weren't he? He came in as the Fiend in 2019.
Yeah. So yeah, he repackaged himself. I think that was completely off his own back with Bruce Pritchard helping him. The whole Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
Once again, never done before. I was still to stay surprised that they let him do that, because that was a children's TV show with a psychopath running it. Because that's basically what he was portraying.
Yeah, it was.
But it worked, and Bruce Pritchard helped him get it over and worked it, and his input was massive. The guy that designed the Fiend mask
is his best friend.
He's his best mate. You see that in there, and the Fiend stuff was great, mate. And I think,
yeah, it was.
I think Vince McMahon killed the Fiend.
Yeah,
with
when
Goldberg
won the title.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Fiend didn't need the title. It wasn't something that we needed to say. The Fiend didn't need the title because the way the Fiend wins is by getting into your head and defeating you that way. There was no calls. I don't remember anyway, but I think there was no calls for Bray Wyatt to win the Universal title at the time. It should have just stayed on Seth.
Well, he won his first title against AJ while he was in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that was in 2016.
Yeah, so he picked his first title. So he had a title. I think the idea of the Fiend, though, for me was, yeah, I agree. He probably didn't need a title, but to keep that run going, he should never have been as the Fiend. The Fiend should not have been beat.
Yeah,
as he did with Seth in that match with Seth, when he buried him under the chairs, he still got up. You have to do something extreme like that to keep the Fiend down. And that's the way it should always have been done. The same as they should have done with Finn Balor's Demon. The Demon should never have been beat, because that is an extra. I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. I know what I want to say. That's like it's almost like the Super Saiyan. If you watch Dragon Ball Z for the characters. So Bray Wyatt in the Funhouse with the brown jacket, brown jumper, and Finn without his makeup on, and then the Demon give up. Yeah, they could lose. They could be getting absolutely battered left, right, and center. But once they put on the outfits and become them alter egos, that's what I'm looking. They should have been unbeaten. And Vince, I don't know what it is. He didn't like it, and he had Goldberg of all people. Goldberg. If you want the Fiend to lose, have some of your big guys, one of your top guys. Roman Reigns beat him.
Because Roman was off because of leukemia.
Yeah, but no.
So, but Strowman was big then. Lesnar,
Seth, even have Seth put, or have Ambrose. The Demon beat him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we had the Fiend and we had obviously COVID, and then he got let go, which still to this day still shocks me that WWE let him go. The documentary doesn't really explain the letting go too much, but he seemed like
I think it was probably just budgets and COVID and stuff like that. That's probably why.
And I think he was off quite a lot as well.
Nothing for him.
Yeah.
Well, he just lost to Roman Reigns as well, didn't he? For the when Roman Reigns came back with Paul Heyman as the tribal chief, he got let go soon after that. So,
but he seemed to be okay with that release. He seemed to be absolutely right. He discovered painting and his art and stuff, and some of his art. It shows how his brain works.
Yeah.
I like art, so it was really interesting seeing that side of him as well. He got time to spend time with JoJo, and obviously have his two more children with JoJo. And then the call came, brought him back, and as Matt said, he returned at Extreme Rules, had a little run right up to Royal Rumble that year. And his last televised match was the Royal Rumble against LA Knight. His last match was actually a live show.
Against LA Knight.
Against LA Knight. And obviously, documentary doesn't, and I thought they might not touch too much on this, but they touched on the day he died. And anybody knows me that knows like COVID done a number on me. My health and stuff like that. And that was one of the things I spoke to about in that video about Bray. We did COVID. I got blood clots and stuff from contracting COVID, and it's made me like still to this day and not very well. And it put stress and strain on my heart, but I never had to the extent of what Bray did. But Bray was then given an ECG machine where it was like a jacket. I think his mum described it as like a vest that he was meant to wear at all times. And he promised his mum that he would wear at all times. And on the day he died, for some unknown reason, we will never know, Bray didn't have his jacket on. It was hard. That was the hardest bit for me. Because obviously my own health and stuff like that, I haven't got anything like that. I've got breathing problems, but my own health and putting stuff into perspective and stuff like that, I put a lot of my health off and shit like that. And a lot of people do. You don't want to go to the doctors. But that was the hardest bit for me, watching. It was Taylor, not even JoJo. It was watching Bo break down. It was the toughest part of the entire documentary. Talking about Bo, he couldn't speak any higher of his big brother. He is what all little brothers do. I've got a big brother. Yeah, we bump heads, and yes, I do to a degree look up to him. And as a child, that's what I wanted to be, was my big brother. And yeah, it was obviously being I'm pretty much similar, yeah, because there's only me and him, and then there's the rest of the girls, and yeah, to watch Bo talk about losing his brother, that once again that hit a little bit with me as well, because I've only got one brother, and yeah, it was tough. That was a tough part. I believe you messaged me. You had a you had a rough run with that documentary, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was emotional WrestleMania weekend anyway, but reasons for on the videos before, so go and watch them. But yeah, I mean, seeing Taylor, and it was same. I always keep coming back to it, but WrestleMania weekend when they were doing the Bray Wyatt panel, and Taylor was getting upset talking about him, as was Seth and Natalia. I just when you now with WWE in the way it is, you see more backstage stuff, and you see these documentaries, and you see the camera spans and stuff like that, and you see more. But we never really saw backstage stuff under Vince McMahon. So with the whole Bray Wyatt thing, you didn't know. You read on the internet, you read on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and you read that people liked Bray Wyatt, but you didn't realize how much he meant to people. And when I saw Taylor Curran, like yourself, I've got a little brother. Well, no, not like yourself, but I've got a brother. He's younger than me. And yeah, we're close, but we're not that close where we'll constantly talk and we'll constantly check on each other. I mean, recently I have, because he's going through stuff, but
no, I know what you mean.
We're into our separate stuff.
I haven't spoken to my brother in about about a month or so, but that's not for arguments or anything. It's just that's how our life is. You don't
Yeah,
keep. But I don't get me wrong. I know some people do talk to their siblings every day. I am one of 6. I have 5 siblings,
I'm one of 5.
so I'll hold the conversation with one of my 5 siblings every day of my life. It'll take up my day because they've all got their own lives. They've all got their own kids. They've all got their own dramas, issues, whatever. To hold the conversation down with your sibling continuously when you've got a large family, you can't, because one, there's not enough time a day, and two, you've got your own life, and three, it can be mentally draining building and carrying your family's issues on top of your own.
Yeah,
Absolutely, but I know what you mean there, mate.
like, so yeah, when I saw Taylor, like, how upset he was getting and just talking about Bray and his legacy and like how he is as a family man and a dad and a brother, it brings you back home, and it brings you the fact that we've said it multiple times, we're not the skinniest people. We both got health issues and stuff, but I couldn't imagine losing a brother or a sister or a close family member like that. Obviously, I've lost grandparents and stuff, but yeah, that's what got to me the most. That and the fact that Bray Wyatt meant so much to me. I mean, if this was Triple H, I'd be taking a year off work, kind of thing. But
No.
Sir Alex Ferguson. But considering it's like one of the guys that creatively was the best and only wanted the best. You saw it in that documentary when they were doing the Firefly Funhouse
Oh,
match, and he'd seen it, said, "Well, what have we got?" And Bray went, "Don't know," and he went, "Fantastic, let's work with it, let's do something."
that's it.
And they both got their minds going together.
But even in the design of the costume, so the documentary shows the fiend that was returning when it was ready to come. It was done. It was dusted. The detail, his attention to detail and things
Yeah,
was unbelievable. So, like when he came back as a fiend and he was carrying the Bray Wyatt lantern, the stitches are actually Roman numerals. I can't remember what they were for. I think that was his son's
kids'
birth.
birthdays.
Yeah. His kids' names were in the pinstripes and the pants and stuff like that. The new mask had stitches, which was his and JoJo's wedding date. And his attention to detail was amazing. I think, though, the documentary shows it really well. He was his own worst critic,
Yeah,
too. When things didn't go right, he didn't like it. And I think that was one of his demons, that he was too tough on himself too much because it was all his own baby. He wanted to be perfect every time. Um, but it was, I said it in that video. But Bray is our generation, not the previous generation. They had Taker. The next generation, I don't know who they've got, but Bray was our generation's phenom,
yeah.
our generation's Undertaker. Not your Stone Cold, like we mentioned earlier, not your Stone Cold, because they are all. I don't like the phrase, but they are inferior dime a dozen almost to a degree. Don't get me wrong. You have talent comes through like Stone Cold, The Rock that are great, but we see them come back through, and we're doing it
Owens
now.
and Reigns.
Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. There's always going to be a guy, but there's only ever been, for most of wrestling fans of our age, there was only ever Taker, and then there was Bray. This era that we're going into now is the kind of the new era. It doesn't have that
No,
phenom. We have, obviously, if you watch NXT, you got Joe Gacy, who could potentially do a job, but has
if
he
they do
got the
it right.
ability?
But Bo Dallas,
This is what I was
Uncle
leading on
Howdy.
to. So I talked about it last week on the pod. Um, Uncle Howdy's coming back. Bo Dallas is going to come back with the Wyatt Six. I hope that he's given time. Um, Booked really well. I hope he gets freedom because I think he could do the job. Not as well as, not to the high standard as Bray, but as good if he's
No, but
given
just as
freedom.
good, yeah.
Um, and I hope the fans get behind it 100%.
I think
I
the fans
can't.
will.
It's going to be an emotional night. the first night the Fireflies return.
Yeah.
But overall, the documentary was amazing. I think it's moved into my favorite documentary WWE's done. I did enjoy my favorite. My favorite was the Seth Rollins redesign, rebuild, reclaim. Watched it so many times, but I think this moved in there. 100%. It's been highly rated, highly reviewed everywhere. And if you haven't watched it, it's a must watch. I'm actually on IMDb's website now. It got 88.7 out of 10. Which, yeah.
I know what it's gone Rotten Tomatoes.
Good point.
So, I know we're going to finish up, but finishing on a higher note, if you had to choose one match for Bray Wyatt to ever watch again and not watch any others, what match are you choosing?
Now, it's a tough one, but it's the same person in each one of them. I'd pick either the Hell in a Cell match with John Cena, the one I mentioned earlier on, for all the kids coming out singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. Or the cage match.
The steel cage.
Cage match, Hell in a Cell. Or I'd watch the Firefly Funhouse with John Cena from WrestleMania, COVID WrestleMania. That for me shows, now watching that documentary, that's the one I'm picking. Watching the documentary, and like you say, basically seeing that little bit where John Cena says, well, what we got? I don't know. That makes that match even better. And John Cena speaks immensely high of it. And he said he was one of his favorite people to work with. And he's worked with everybody. But yeah, the Firefly Funhouse from WrestleMania. What about you?
Goldberg and Bray Wyatt. No, I'm joking. I think it's got to be that, isn't it? I think it's got to be that. I mean,
if you want to watch Runner's stuff, see how good he is on promos and stuff, the best run of promos he did was the lead up to WrestleMania against The Undertaker, because Taker wasn't around much, and Bray had to carry to build on his own back.
Oh, I know, but the build up to Cena at WrestleMania 30, that was some of his best promo work as well, because it was talking about John Cena's legacy and how he can't do anything bad and stuff like that. That's good as well.
That's the Firefly Funhouse stuff. It was great. That stuff there, but the stuff.
No, WrestleMania 30. I'm talking about WrestleMania 30 when he faced him first time at WrestleMania when Cena won.
Oh yes. Yeah.
The legacy stuff, that, some of that stuff. I prefer that stuff to the Undertaker stuff. The stuff with John Cena for that WrestleMania just showed how good he was, that he can do it with John Cena.
He's great.
Favorite match? The 5-5 Funhouse match is probably my favorite, but I'm trying to think outside the box. I think we can all agree the worst match was Goldberg and Fiend, or Seth and Fiend in Hell in a Cell. I know Cena won, but I did like Bray and Cena at WrestleMania 30. I did like that match. I know Cena won, but yeah, I'd have to go with a 5-5 Funhouse match.
If you want,
it just showed his creativity.
Other bangers, you've got the stuff with Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton.
No. Strike that. I've got one better. Elimination Chamber 2017.
Take his title reign. All day.
His title. When he won that title, mate, that's my favourite match.
Fair enough.
And then it's the 5-5 Funhouse.
Yeah. But he had great storylines with Taker, Bryan, Cena, Orton, The Shield,
Kane.
I still to this day think they slept on that, really, and that's one thing. There's two things that I'm glad we didn't get to see: the Fiend against Sister Abigail match, even though it looked like it was going to be weird. He got mumps or whatever it was, and that
who was going to be Sister Abigail? That was the question. Who was?
It was
Sister
Bray
Abigail?
himself, but I was intrigued to see how Bray was going to do that. And when the whole storyline with the Wyatt family and Kane and Undertaker to this day and forever, I feel like they would do. But I feel like they missed a trick on that. They could have had him for the next few weeks. They could have linked up some sort of new Ministry of Darkness, and like the following weeks, him begging for mercy from Taker and stuff like that, and then being under the control of Taker and Kane, because you could have Taker on TV but not wrestling, because the Wyatts were doing everything, and it would have been golden, absolute golden. But yeah, so thank you for the recommendation, or the request, not recommendation, request of doing this. It was on the plans to do anyway. But yeah, for anybody who's watching this that hasn't watched the documentary, in the UK, it's a bit of a tough one to get hold of. You got to go online. I'm not promoting anywhere. Not doing that. But yeah, you have to go online because it's on Peacock. If you know where to find it, you'll find it. Or if you're one of our American fans, Peacock, you lucky sods.
Get everything on there, you lot. It's unreal.
But yeah, head to Peacock and watch it, or wherever it is you can find it. Absolutely give it a watch. Fantastic input. Stay till after the credits as well. Don't turn it off when it ends. Not
Is all this happening on Raw at the moment?
It'll explain that.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay to the credits. And buckle in for a fun ride with Bo Dallas. Well, I hope he's. Do you reckon he's coming back as Bo?
No, Uncle Howdy. There's no way he's coming back as Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas with this.
Dead mare.
Nah, it'd be Uncle Howdy. They've already got all the shit for it, haven't they?
Yeah, the dress up, but I think the name Uncle Howdy for him. And never mind. We'll debate that when it happens.
Because it's a part of Bray's thing, in it. So
yeah, we'll debate that when it happens. I don't think he's a leader, but we'll get back to that in a bit, another day. But yeah, Alexa Bliss.
Oh, I like it. Even though I originally didn't, but
just because of the dead mare stuff, he seems to be waiting for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, also on that as well. You're like, what? It's talking about dead mare. Head to YouTube and put in dead mare. You're welcome.
Yeah, and then subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe while you're there. Well, subscribe first and then go across.
And then go over. Yeah.
But like I said at the top of the video there, we are open to recommend requests of any sort. But like I said, we will fulfill your request once you've hit the subscription button, which you can see all the links below about where to find and where to subscribe. And obviously you're on YouTube, so hit that subscription, hit the like. Then you've got the banner above telling you about our affiliation with WWE Store. It's in the comments.
And good creativity.
In the descriptions below. Hit that across. Go get your merch. I've got one coming soonish. It's coming from America. I did want this one, but I'm not paying. I'm not paying the delivery fees from America for
I'm waiting for payday because I am going to get some t-shirts.
Well, I'm going to order that black bot. Never mind. But yeah, so the next video, hit the comments up with whatever you want to see next. We are happy to do them, and it will be a peace out from me
and a yeet from me.
And I'm going to leave a line from the man himself. In a world of black and white, he was the color red.